In the manufacturing industry, true cost of a product or SKU can be extremely difficult to calculate. Most enterprise systems can provide material costs for each SKU in the product master, but labor and production overhead costs are not always reported per manufacturing job. SG&A costs are rarely available per SKU, if ever. These costs get lost, making a meaningful analysis of value very, very difficult. Financial analysts will often build Excel models to tackle the problem of allocating these softer costs to a SKU. They create schedules which analyze marketing, R&D, facilities, inventory turns, and shipping material costs. Typically, these schedules are in Excel and depend upon extracts of data. The final model is usually highly detailed, difficult to interpret, and very challenging to maintain. This Power BI solution combines live business data with cost allocation schedules in Excel. With this approach, we can distribute soft costs automatically in Power BI using business-approved formulas. The result is a highly interactive profitability analysis packed with financial insight. The first page shows us the big picture. Our company manufactures golfing equipment and sells products into two channels: retail, think sporting goods stores, and clubs, think private and public clubs and courses. We can see at a glance that the company has brought in $214 million in total revenue over the past 5 years. Along the left-hand side, we can see the components of gross profit. Our average margin is 18.7%. The compound annual growth rate, or CAGR, measures year-over-year revenue growth. On average, the company is growing top-line revenue 5.2% for the 5-year period. We see that growth rate over time in the chart on the right-hand side. Power BI offers a forecast for measures like revenue to help you quickly understand where things are headed. The table below this chart shows each of the components of gross profit margin. Revenue is derived from invoices. Material costs typically come from a business system. Labor and production overhead are calculated by cost entries in the business system, but then spread to customers based upon buying habits and volume. Take revenue, then subtract cost of goods sold for each sale and the allocated labor and production costs for each customer to arrive at margin. The chart shows some interesting insights. Our top customer by revenue has a modest margin and a flat to decreasing growth rate. By contrast, one customer is driving a lot of labor and production overhead cost, but annual growth is very high. Management will want to understand why. Page 2 of the analysis looks at a different slice of the data, focused instead on profitability of each product line. We can see that the values across remain the same. We are looking at the same bottom line. We also see that our per unit profit is $1.08. That's $1.08 per unit produced, which must cover SG&A costs. The table below contains columns not shown on the customer analysis. In addition to the components of standard cost, we also have SG&A costs allocated to the SKU level and rolled up by product line. This permits a EBIT calculation, earnings before interest and taxes. This is an important number on an income statement because it includes all the true overhead costs. So which product lines contribute the most to covering our overhead? We can see that gloves are significantly outpacing tees. In fact, we seem to be losing money on tees. The last page of the report reveals some answers. A filter in the upper right-hand corner changes the per unit calculations. We see that we are realizing $1.19 per unit on balls. That is a little above the average. Change the filter to gloves, the per unit profit increases. Change the filter to tees, we see that the margins erode. Power BI can be used to perform a financial analysis of your business. Any calculation performed in Excel can be done in Power BI, and Power BI reports offer a guided experience for management to explore financial data outside the confines of a financial statement.